Pardesi Beats.
What's up, everybody? You're tuned into Pardesi Beats Unplugged. So the first round of the NHL Playoffs is now over, and similarly to what we did last round, we're going to give you our playoff picks for round number 2. As you can see, some of us are wearing particular team jerseys. Our primary team, unfortunately, got eliminated. The Edmonton Oilers were embarrassed by the Winnipeg Jets in 4 games, but we won't get into that. Round 2 has already started, but we made these predictions before, so we're going to kind of stick with those predictions regardless of what the series is at right now. So the first series we have is Carolina versus Tampa Bay. Simran, who do you got and why?
Oh, it's gonna be Tampa. I'll say Tampa in 5. They're way too deep compared to Carolina. Carolina to me seemed really rocky against Nashville, a much weaker team. I don't think they have the depth in goal. I don't think they have the depth in D. And I think they played sloppier than they did last year. This entire playoffs. So I think a healthy Tampa is going to roll over them.
Cool. Pat, who do you got and why?
I kind of just I think Tampa, because exactly I think I resonate what Simran said. Their depth. Carolina had a pretty powerful first run, and they did surprise a lot of people, but I don't know if they have the depth to take that deeper in the playoffs. So I'm going to go in Tampa. I'm going to go with Tampa, in about, I want to say 5 games.
All right, Kush, who do you got and why?
Well, I already put my predictions out there, so in our group chat. But Tampa, it's pretty obvious, defending Cup champs, and dude, they have so many weapons, and Vasilevsky's playing unreal. But I originally said 7. I wish I didn't, but I have to stick to what I originally said. So 7, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to stick with my original pick. And unfortunately, at this point, this team is down 2-0 in the series. But I said Carolina in 7, just because I just want that. I just want that underdog story, right? I don't like Tampa because they cap circumvention and all that stuff. So Carolina in 7 was my pick, and I'll stick with it. Next up, we have Boston versus the Islanders. Simran, who do you got and why?
Yeah, it's gonna be Boston. They're a deeper team. They stack up pretty evenly, in my opinion. I think Barry Trotz is the better coach for the Islanders, but I'm not convinced that the Islanders have the best goaltending right now. Out of what's his face? I don't really care what his name is.
Sorokin Varlamov.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
All right, Pat, who do you got and why?
Did you say how many?
Oh, we'll say in 6. Bears in 6.
I know that you want to choose Islanders, but
I can't.
I know you want to though.
Because my
allegiance. Anyways, it doesn't matter. You still want to because your brain says. Anyways, I'm gonna go with Islanders in. I'm gonna say 6 games. Boston definitely will give it to them, but I think Islanders, based on what they've done, have shown that they can be a curveball in the playoffs and have been so far.
Who do you got and why?
It's the Bruins for me in 6 games, baby. That's the prediction. They're just a really good team. I think they're better than Islanders. Really simple.
And like Pat alluded to, I want to say the Islanders, but because my allegiance lie with the Boston Bruins, I'm going to say Boston in 6. This is going to be a really sick series, though. They're very evenly matched. And as we saw with the second game, it can go either way. It's probably one of the most series that I'm looking most forward to. Next up, we have Colorado and Vegas. Simran, who do you got and why?
Oh, it's going to be Colorado. I know they're tied right now.
Was that before or after game 1?
That was well, like this is actually after game 1. I thought it would be an even series. I had a lot of respect for for Vegas. I'll say 5 games for Colorado. But man, they look leaps and bounds better. And the only way that Vegas is going to even come close is if they pull a Winnipeg and go full like 90s hockey, go clutch and grab, because Colorado has way too much speed, way too much skill in the back end. Like their top 4D, their top 6 forwards, and then like all throughout their lineup, they're just killers.
Pat, who do you got and why?
Colorado is giving a very solid reason to pick them, but I'm going to go with Vegas.
Interesting.
Why? Not just hockey knowledge, because I just really like Vegas, and simply I just really like them.
Thinking with your heart.
I am thinking with my heart, but my brain also says, even though I think at this moment Colorado is very powerful, I do think Vegas is the team that can give it to them and even steal it away, similarly to what somebody did to the Leafs in the first series. So I do think it's gonna be a tight series. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna say 7 games for Vegas, but it's a beautiful series to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Kush, who do you got and why?
Avs in 5 as well. They're really good. They're really good.
They're so fast. And that's like a modern analytic team. Sorry, Kush.
Yeah, and like Vegas they just don't have the same caliber of players, but they play such a good system.
Well,
so we'll see if they can adapt.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with Colorado. I said Colorado in 6. Like Pat alluded to, Vegas is still a very good team, but I think the level that Nathan MacKinnon is on right now is just a whole nother level. And hopefully that's something we see with McDavid coming up in a year or two. That playoff performance is just completely different.
I think they're the same guys. I think McKinnon just is getting the calls in these series.
But he's also turning it on. Like he made Vegas look silly in game 1.
Oh yeah, 100%. But he, like, you saw how much room he had in the neutral zone. It was a completely different.
He has complementary players.
He has depth.
Well, what are those? I don't know what those are as an Oilers fan. Anyways,
the refereeing. I'll leave it up to the referee, but
sure. It's like last but not least, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the wonderful rivalry in the top left corner of your screen.
Gross.
Montreal versus the Winnipeg Jets. Simran, who do you got and why?
I don't even want to pick anybody in this series. It's so frustrating. I'll go with Montreal, even though the entire province of Quebec can eat my shorts. They're more skilled. I'll say that. If Dominic Ducharme doesn't big brain this, like Dave Tippett did, they'll have a pretty fun time. And Connor Hellebuck has a game like he had today. Or like has another 3 like he had today in the rest of the series, then it's going to be quick for Montreal. We know what Carey Price can do in a short sample size, but the additions of like Romanoff and if Tatar's playing regular minutes in the top 6, and then you have Cole Caulfield, this team is very different than what it was without those guys in the lineup. And
how many games you got for Montreal?
3. Yeah, I'll say 6 games. I think Winnipeg gets a few by gooning it up, but Montreal's not afraid of getting their hands dirty either.
Yeah.
So
Pat, who do you got and why? I think you have to reason and speak carefully in this situation.
Because of my family allegiances. At the end of the day, let me just preface by saying this is going to be a crazy series to watch. I think. I love Canadian matchups, but I think it's rare that we've seen Montreal versus the Jets, Montreal versus Winnipeg in historic NHL playoffs. If it's happened, I can't recollect.
I'm pretty sure. So I think it's.
I think it is then.
Yeah.
I could be. I didn't want to say that for sure because I can't remember. I didn't reference anything, but regardless, I think this matchup is very, very new and unique. And being a Habs fan for many years, but also being adopted into the Winnipeg Jets family, and low key, I always say they're my second favorite team to somebody, just out of appeasing reasons, but I'll shuffle them into my third. I'll be fair because I
Garbage.
don't hate Winnipeg. No, like naturally speaking,
They're too bad to hate.
But here's the thing.
Like you pity them, you don't hate them.
No, I don't. And here's the thing, like this goes back a little bit, maybe it's my age, but when Winnipeg, even though Winnipeg and Edmonton Oilers played each other in the playoffs many times in the 80s, and in that sort of stretch when we were a dynasty team, here's what happened. Winnipeg supporters, when they didn't have the Jets, Winnipeg fans supported the Oilers. And a lot of Oilers fans, when the time was of the Oilers being not in the playoffs and the Jets were still around before they got canceled and came back, they supported the Jets. So I think even though this year gave us a rivalry between the cities, I think they also have a mutual respect for one another in a way. And I think the cities are very relatable. And yeah, my wife's from there, so shout out to Manraj, my brother-in-law, who gifted me a Winnipeg Jets jersey. This is not that one, but I have that too. But Habs, man, I love the Habs. I even wore a Habs jersey to an Oilers game once.
How many games you got?
Habs.
Coach legitimately looks like a hostage right now.
He is. I honestly think I don't know. I think it's going to be Habs in 7, but if the Habs lose, it's going to be in 5 games. But Habs in 7, my pick.
Bushy, who do you got and why? And don't let your brother intimidate you in any way.
Yeah.
Put that jersey
Wear
on.
the jersey. But
blink twice if you're in danger.
The problem is that, I don't feel any shame wearing this jersey because they owned us. So.
Oh yeah.
And one of your good friends got it for you, right?
Yeah, one of my homies got me this jersey. So
shout out to him.
You gotta pay some respects to what Jets did to us. But either way, et la boo, it's gonna be the Habs in 6. All right. Yeah, I think goaltending battles. I'm gonna lean to Price. People thought it was gonna be a goalies versus goalie series, although today we saw game 1, it wasn't as such. But Carey Price to me is
the classic goalie wins the playoffs for you.
He's more proven to me, so I just feel like I'll just lean on that aspect.
This is where you rip your jersey off and you got a Habs jersey underneath.
Yeah, no.
And I'm gonna also say, like you guys already alluded to, this series is gonna be probably a very good series, very
Fun
tightly contested. Yeah, I agree. And in our predictions, I said anybody but the Leafs because they.
Guess what the Leafs did? I said it.
I was surprised.
I'm used to watching that.
That's quite surprising.
So with that being said, I'm gonna say Montreal rides that momentum into this series, takes a stranglehold, and wins it in 7, because we saw what Winnipeg could do when they're firing on all cylinders.
Yes,
they shut down McDavid and they shut down Draisaitl, so they can definitely do that.
But remember, I'm gonna just say this: do you remember when we were talking trade deadline? Whether I can't remember if it was on this platform or if it was when we were on radio, but I did say, and I'm pulling a Don Cherry by referencing myself, is I did say that the Habs solidified their depth at the trade deadline, and that's coming in handy.
Yeah,
with a guy like Carey Price backstopping everything.
But even Stahl, I think Stahl's fit well into that third, fourth line. Corey Perry as the depth guy has shown up in the playoffs because we know he can. Because as Simon alluded to, he gets the calls. So I think Montreal takes it, and they take it in 7.
I think so too.
That's our playoff predictions for round 2. And as we leave, I just want to remind all Toronto Maple Leafs fans that they have not won a playoff series since 2004.
And I want to remind everyone that I won the first round. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a very good point. So Cushy had the greatest number of predictions, and I want to point out Pat had the lowest number of predictions. Me and Simmer tied in the middle.
Matt Dillon, yeah.
Interesting.
With the
I think it was the Oilers predictions that killed us, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All of us
we all took a hit.
We all lost. Yeah, we all lost. On
and we all lost a bit of our soul.
Yeah,
that is true. All right, that's the little episode of Pardesi Beats Unplugged. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you follow us on all social media at Pardesi_Beats.